Hey guys, so for the call tonight, what I wanted to talk about was onboarding new coaches. So because nobody was able to attend, I just wanted to shoot a quick video so you guys can watch and just kind of see the process. And if you guys have questions, we can always address them next week, or we can do another call on this. As always, I am open to ideas. So if you guys see something that you feel like could work more smoothly or would be easier for brand new coaches to figure out, any kind of suggestions or edits or additions or anything, just let me know, because I certainly don't have all the answers. When we designed our training system and onboarding system for our team, we tried to do what was the easiest and most simple and straightforward, and so coaches didn't feel overwhelmed when they first came on board. But there might be a better way, or there might be things that we want to include or things that we want to remove. So we are always open to suggestions. This isn't just my team, this is everybody's team who is in my downline, who is a member of our team, and I want this system to be able to work for everybody. So I'm going to do a little screen share real quick, because basically the basis of our onboarding system is based on our coach training website. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Oh, let me I need to close out a window. I'm sorry, guys. Real quick. Let me get rid of that stuff. Okay, I have some kind of issue that my screen flashes when I have other stuff open. So hopefully we won't have the flashing screen issue tonight. So basically, if you haven't been to this website before, which I hope everybody has, because it is in the emails, but obviously we just got this up and running in October, I believe. So it is relatively brand new. So if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at this, let me. Okay, all kinds of interruptions tonight. Sorry, guys. So if you, there are a number of websites that you can go to. I have a couple of domains reserved. So as you can see up in the menu bar, teambetterthanyesterday.com gets you there. You can also do TBTYtraining.com. Stands for Team Better Than Yesterday, TBTYtraining.com. And that's going to get you to the same site. And the password is the coaches will be sent the password in the emails that they get, and it's also on our in our team group. It's at the top in the cover photo as well. But it is I will succeed with all of the first letters of each word capitalized. And you're going to need that password when you click this Enter Lab button, or whenever you go into anything over here in the Training Lab segment. I think I may also have the calendar password protected. So this About screen, just to kind of show you around the website a little bit, this About screen is really, which I need to update because Miss Jen Dacre is actually a Diamond coach. So the About screen anyway is just kind of a general welcome for anybody who stumbles upon the site. Contact gives people the email if somebody finds it again and wants to email us and get in touch with our team. The calendar. Oh, okay. So here you can see. So I'm going to type I will succeed. That's going to let me in to all of this stuff. So this calendar is basically our team calendar, which is set up in Google Calendars. If you want, I can also share this with you by entering your email address, and then it will populate in, I think you could set it up to populate into your actual, like your iPhone calendar or Android calendar, or into your Google Calendar. But this is basically showing you when certain groups are starting. And these other things are going to show you, so this is kind of part of the onboarding for new coaches, that they have all of this laid out for them so that they know kind of when to post things. So if you click each one of these, so you can see this is when, so the free group, this is when you should be advertising for the upcoming free group, and this is a transformation post. So I just have a general template added in here right now. I'm going to get a little bit better about updating all of that, so it really is exactly what we are promoting. Because I think right now our 5-day and our free group for this month of February are actually switched. But anyway, so if you guys are ever wondering, I don't know what to post today, I don't know what I should be advertising for, you can always come in here, and it also has some of the team calls as well that you can get in and see when they are. But really the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about tonight is in this training lab section. And this is what you're going to do. So this page is basically just a welcome in case somebody lands here, and it explains, starting your own training. And then this section here, in case you need a quick touch up on onboarding, there is an entire lesson in the training on onboarding coaches, but this is just going to give you a really brief outline in case you forget the process of things. But I hope it's really simple, and you guys, it should be pretty straightforward, and you shouldn't forget what to do. So obviously when you enroll a new coach and they are signed up on the team, you're going to want to come to this Add Your Coaches tab. And what this is going to do is, this is basically just has a form. And so you, as their sponsoring coach, you're going to come in here because they're not going to know where to go when they first come in. So what you're going to do is come in here and add their email address, first and last name, and click confirm. And that basically is going to get them set up with a series of emails that they're going to get over the course of I believe it's 2 weeks. It's not an email every day. I think it's every 3 days they get an email. And it's really set up for both discount coaches and coaches who want to work, and people who aren't really sure. A lot of the time you'll have somebody in the middle who isn't really sure if they want to do this as a full-time job, or maybe they just want to pay for their Shakeology. So it's really designed for everybody, any kind of coach that you sign up, whether they are a discounter or a builder or what have you. So they're going to start getting these emails, and they're going to tell them, where to come and find the website, where to come and find our Facebook group, for example, how to log into their Coach Online office, so that they can find basic stuff about, even if they're a discount coach, they can find information on their personal orders and when their orders are shipping, and that kind of stuff. And then they can also start to explore that a little bit more if they are curious about how the whole coaching thing works. And those emails kind of progress and explain what a coach is, what a coach isn't is one of them. I'm trying to think, but we try to keep it really relevant for everybody. We don't get into Success Club. We don't talk about Emerald or rank advancement or anything like that might be a little bit intimidating to discount coaches. We don't want coaches to just tune out when they start getting these emails, especially if they are a discount coach. We don't want them to be overwhelmed and just be like, well, that information isn't applicable to me, so I'm just going to shut this whole thing down and not read what is coming in. So it also, one of the last emails talks about when the team calls are, the calls that they should be plugging into if they do want to start to engage. So that's really going to be your first step. One of the things that one of those emails is going to tell them to do is to set up what's called a getting started right call. Real quick, I'm going to go to this Get Started Here tab, because this is also where they are going to be instructed in the emails to go, is to come into this training site and go to this Get Started tab. So as you can see, the number one task to get started is to schedule a call with you. So in theory, because they are hopefully coming to the training website and taking a look at this really quick, and also because they are getting an email about setting up the call, hopefully they're going to get in touch with you. But if not, if they don't reach out to you within about a week, I would go ahead and reach out to the coach that you signed up and get a call set up. And if they're a discount coach, basically what this call is going to look like is really, no matter what kind of coach it is. It's going to be a goal setting call. But if they're a discount coach, you're probably going to be more talking about their fitness goals, if they want to lose weight, if they want to tone up, if they want to bulk, whatever it is that they're looking for, what they've struggled with in the past, how you can help keep them accountable. Likewise too, a call with a builder is going to look pretty similar. It's just going to be more about the business. So you're going to talk about what their business goals are, what kind of income that they are looking to, to make, where they want to be in the next 30 days, if they want to set a goal of having their shake paid for or their other products paid for, or if they're a real go-getter, are they going to try to be emerald in the first 30 days? Are they going to try to hit success club? So the call with a builder might be a really good time to start bringing up some basic things like emerald and success club, and just making sure that they understand a little bit about those and why they're important for building their business. But then also you're going to talk to them in this call. If it's a builder, you're going to talk to them too about how you can keep them accountable. One question that you should ask, which I've not been all that good about, I probably need to get better at, but ask, do I have permission to hold you accountable? So you're telling me that you're going to go ahead and you're shooting for emerald. In order to shoot to get to emerald, you're going to need to be inviting people to the business. Do I have your permission to reach out to you in another week and see who all you have invited to join you as a coach? So that's kind of the discussion that you're going to have with somebody who's a builder. And also, no matter what, whether it's a discount coach or a builder, you're going to want to talk to them about what their why is. And not just that they want to lose weight and look good, or, they want to make $500 a week, whatever their goals are. You really want to keep asking why. So, I want to look good. Well, why do you want to look good? Because I have always felt horrible about the way that I look, and I'm embarrassed by my body. Well, why are you embarrassed? Why is that so important? Well, growing up, I never had a good role model, and I want my kids to have that role model. So, really, really dive down with them, because, it's partially for you as their sponsoring coach to know what it is that's driving them and what it is behind them. Because when they hit a roadblock or start to struggle or have a really bad day or bad week or bad month, or have a coach quit, or whatever thing has come up that they kind of get stuck on, you're going to be there to remind them of, this is why you got started. And it's also to get them to start to think about that, because a lot of the time somebody hasn't thought about that yet. And so you're going to get those wheels turning for them and really have them start to focus on why it is that they're doing this. Because again, when they hit those roadblocks, they can come back to that. They can remember that conversation that you guys had. Now, one thing about the call, if you are a relatively new coach, if you have never done one of those calls before, it can be intimidating to do it by yourself. And that's why you have an upline. That's why you have a diamond upline, and that's why you have a star diamond upline. Part of our jobs as your diamond and star diamond upline coaches is to help you do these things for the first couple times in the business. My very first getting started right call, I think actually the first 2 or 3, I had Brianne on the call with me. We basically did a 3-way call. And the first one, she let me kind of sit back and listen to her ask the questions. And then the second one, she chatted with us for a minute. And then she was like, yeah, go, Annie, you take over. So she stayed on the line while I talked to the coach for a little bit. And then she was like, okay, well, unless you guys have any specific questions for me, I'm going to hop off and let you guys keep going. So, our job is to show you how it's done, what you need to talk about. We're more than happy to do 3-way calls with you. and let you start to gain that confidence doing them yourself. Be there for you if you have questions, but then you can, you can start to take over as you get more confident and comfortable with doing them, and as you know the business more. One other thing to mention is it is totally okay to tell people that you don't know the answer. I heard, I think it was Jimmy Hayes Nelson recently say, so many times he's heard coaches try to come up with something and they're stumbling over themselves, and it just makes them sound like they don't know what they're talking about, or they're trying to like BS somebody, try to talk them into something that they really aren't comfortable with. Rather than doing that, he's been in the business for years and years and years, like 7 years or something now. It's totally fine to say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but I am going to find out and I'm going to get back to you. So if something comes up in one of these calls that you just don't know how to answer or don't know what the correct answer is, don't be afraid to say that you don't know. We're all constantly learning, and we're all constantly, figuring things out and finding answers, and maybe something has changed and it's not the way that it used to be, and you just don't know how it works anymore, and that's fine. So definitely don't be afraid to do that in the calls. I'm trying to think of anything else that I am missing in terms of the getting started right calls. But yeah, basically, so you're going to reach out to that coach again if they haven't gotten in touch with you, and get that call set up. If you do need help from your Diamond or Star Diamond upline, get in touch with them and just see what their schedule is like. Obviously, if they're going to be helping you out with the call, you want to be, flexible with their schedule as well. So in terms of that, on that call also, so you're basically going to get an idea, especially if it's a business builder, of how much they want you to be touching base with them. You're going to get an idea if this is somebody who is going to like run with the business. Do they want to, do they have a goal of being like Diamond in 90 days? That's somebody that you're really going to want to be working with very closely, because they're ready to rock and roll on the business, compared with somebody who's, like, well, maybe I want to get to Emerald, but I don't really know. If that's the answer you're getting, obviously still keep touching base with them, but you probably don't need to give them quite as much undivided attention as somebody who's ready to run with the business. So that's part of what that call is doing for you as well, is kind of gauging how much help and assistance this person is going to need, and how much you want to be making sure that you're really holding them accountable to getting their training done and getting going, and sitting down, like making sure that they're carving time out of their schedule every single day to work on the business. So the rest of this basically, and you might want to also, on your getting started right call, kind of walk again, especially if it's somebody who wants to build the business, even if they think they might want to work. Really the only time I wouldn't go over the website is if it was somebody who was like, no, I just want the discount. I don't want to know anything about the business. I have the idea that somebody has a glimmer of wanting to know about the business, I will show them the website or walk them through it. I've recently been trying to do getting started right calls as a Zoom. So, get them on that Zoom call. You can do a screen share and show them how the training website works, and make sure they know where it is, and see if they have any questions. But, in case they don't, so there's this video that is going to explain how the training works. There is a training checklist to help walk them through the training. And that's one other thing. I don't know if I can just open this up real quick. So the way that the training is designed, basically this is something else. So if they're going to be starting the training, one thing that they're going to do at the beginning of each training segment is they're going to okay, this is 9 lessons long. It's going to have them set a due date for themselves of when they want to be finished with that training. So if you have a coach going through the training or who is interested in it, get with them and say, okay, what is your due date for completing the on the runway section? And can I check in with you, if I haven't heard from you by that due date, is it okay if I check in with you and just make sure that everything's going well? But this checklist is really going to allow them to go through, take notes on everything that they're learning, and it has a checklist for every single section of the training website. One thing that you can do is ask them to send you, if they want to really build and run with the business, you can have them send you that training checklist as they complete it, so you can see what all they're doing. And if you feel like they're really taking the time that they need to do those assignments correctly. Likewise, too, it's going to go over the BAT, which is a business activity tracker. It's basically just a way to keep track of whether you're doing your 3 vital behaviors every day. And then it's going to tell them to get started. These little sections here, so these are basically telling you they can fill this out when they're ready to start the training, and it's going to send an email that every diamond on the team gets copied on the emails. So we're going to know what coaches are starting the training, and then it's again at the end of each training segment saying, like, I finished the on the runway section. So if like if I get that email and you're one of my coaches, I'm going to know that you finished that, and that way I can touch base with you. If you aren't a diamond coach, we will be, if it's one of your personally sponsored coaches, then our diamond, like the diamond coaches, will be getting in touch with you to let you know that your coach is finishing the training. And so the training lab, just in case you haven't taken a look at the actual trainings, it's pretty self-explanatory. You basically print out that checklist and then go through. There are a lot of videos to watch. We try to keep it to a little bit of text and, a fair amount of videos to also, reinforce what the text says and give you little nuggets of information from some of the top coaches in the network. And then most of the sections have a homework assignment as well. I think only the 3rd section does not have homework for every lesson. And this is really just going to introduce them to the basics of the business and the vital behaviors and get them going with everything. So that is also, it's really important that they complete that. Now, the feedback that we were getting from people was that the training in the Coach Online office is a little bit overwhelming and it's not very well organized, which is part of why we did this. But just so you know, there is a ton of training back there, and they even provide training groups that you can run. So if you think that that you don't necessarily like the way the website is set up, or you want to run let's say a 30-day like push to Emerald group, all of that training is available in the news and training section in the Coach Online office if you want to take a look at the training that corporate has provided for you. Or likewise too, you can also use this training website that we've designed and do a training group based on it. So, you can always post up, even if you only have 1 or 2 coaches. People on the team are enrolling coaches all the time. So don't be scared to jump into the the team Facebook group and see if anybody else has coaches that want to go through an accountability group. And basically you can structure it around this training. So you can say, like once a day, everybody who's in the group is going to do 1 lesson in the training and go from there. So that's another idea. If you do feel like, especially if you feel like you have coaches that aren't necessarily going to go through the training on their own, that they're going to need that accountability, go for it. Like, I think those groups are a great idea, and I definitely plan on running them myself every so often. One last thing that I'm going to show you here in the Shoot for the Stars training, which is the last segment. Now, this is really, for the trainings, we tried not to label anything as like, this is like a push to Emerald, this is a push to Diamond, because we felt like sometimes coaches achieve it quickly and sometimes they don't in terms of the rank advancement. So we felt like we didn't want people who, let's say you have a coach who starts on the first training segment and only a day or two into it hits emerald. So if we had called that a push to emerald training, they might think like, well, I'm emerald already, I don't need to finish this training, when in fact all of those different lessons are important for everybody. Even 2 years into this as a Star Diamond coach, I need to go back to the training every so often. And likewise too, we didn't want people to feel bad or feel like they couldn't move on because they had completed the push to emerald training, but they weren't an emerald coach yet. So that's why we really tried to keep it not related to rank, because it's there for everybody. It's good information for everybody. It is the foundation and business basics of this business. So that being said, the Shoot for the Stars is an amazing training. It's very in-depth. The lessons will take probably an hour a day to complete. This is what was the push to diamond, like you'll hear people call it like the shine groups. So this really is like a push to diamond training. It's very in depth. So if you do have some people who are really serious about building, have them come do this training, set up a group to follow it. But just so you know, if you do get coaches who aren't quite as serious, this might be a little bit overwhelming for them. It is a pretty serious time commitment each day, but that's part of why we wanted to put it up here, so that people have access to the information, because it is fantastic training that will really give your business a huge boost, but that you don't feel like you have to be committing an hour or more a day just to the training section, because you also need to be working your business in addition to doing your trainings. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else. If you do have a question about onboarding that I have not covered, or anything comes to mind, or you have any ideas on how we can improve this or make it better, make the system easier to use, or not be a little bit more accessible, I guess, to brand new coaches, definitely just post it in the group page. I'm going to stop this share real quick. So yeah, I mean, we're all, like I said at the beginning, we're always open to ideas, and we want input from everybody, whether, even if you've only been a coach for a week, maybe, as a brand new coach, you have a lot different perspective on what helped you, and what might have been a little bit too much or not explained well enough as a coach. One other quick thing to note, something that Tova has put together, which we are going to be putting onto the training website and adding to the emails, and then it will also be available in the files section of the team Facebook group, is a coaching manual. So it is basically a 31-page document, but it has all of the information that somebody would need to know. So it starts out with like coach relations contact information, when the team calls are, how to access the website. So it's a little bit of a reiteration of some of the information that they're going to get, especially in the emails, and then some of the stuff in the training. But that way, coaches or everybody can print it out or save it on their computer and have a place to access it easily, and they don't have to go, digging back through their emails from like the first week when they first signed up as a coach to try to find the information they're looking for. So I really hope that that's a great asset and great resource for you guys and for all of the brand new coaches coming on board. So just also know that they're going to have access to that, and you guys will too. So hope this helps, guys. And like I said, post up any questions that you have. Thanks a lot.